Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and this morning I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Jordan Publishing. It's an interesting book and it's got a long title. It's called Care Proceedings and Learning Disabled Parents. Difficult area of law immediately. It's a handbook for family lawyers, especially with the changes that have taken place this year. And it's now in a second edition, and it's been written by Abigail Bond. This is the book here. It's actually an e-book as well. It's not a very big book, it's a paperback. There's the front, the spine, and then there's a lot of stuff on the back, which I'll just pull back a bit. You can see what you've got. You've got, again, actually quite a small index at the back. You see it's not very big, but you've got the standard structure here. You do have paragraph numbering, which is helpful in places. There isn't much in the way of any footnotes. There are a few, but there aren't that many. But the book itself, you can again see the paragraph numbering at the sides there. And then we get to the front of the book itself. That's actually the front. And there's a foreword written by Mrs. Justice Palfrey, which is always well worth reading. Anna Palfrey, there we go, that's the one there. And then you've got the contents, table of cases there, and as I say, it's not a big book. There are some appendices which are very helpful. Looking at the Mental Capacity Act, there are 7 appendices, and there are actually some, there's a little toolkit right at the back which is quite helpful too. Then you've got the case law, and then you go straight into chapter 1, Learning Disabled Parenting, an Introduction. Now, this is a difficult area of law. I'm also a teacher as well as a barrister at law, and for my teacher training I actually dealt with both disabled special needs learners and of course their parents, some of whom had very serious challenging problems as well. So it is an important area, and it's something that we need to know about, because there is a relationship here clearly between the state and the family. Now, we've given it a title which is on the web and in the journals, and we've said it's a handbook for the family lawyer dealing with learning disabled parents, which is a new sub-branch of family law, effectively. I say new because it's something that's emerged as a really important area, and one that we've got to really pay a bit of attention to, because we're looking at the Mental Capacity Act specifically and the legislation for all that it's worth, and obviously I hope one day we will get a consolidated piece of legislation that will probably assist a little more, especially as the society changes. This is what we say about the book anyway. In a much needed second edition from the Family Law imprint of Jordan's, so it is Jordan's, but it's the Family Law imprint. This handbook is aimed at family lawyers handling care proceedings in which one or both parents has a learning disability. Such cases are becoming, unfortunately, more and more common, and invariably sensitive. They are replete with excruciatingly difficult problems and dilemmas for all the people concerned. That's from the judiciary to lawyers through to the parents themselves and ultimately their children and all the other agencies and people who are involved. The aim of the book, therefore, is to provide the family lawyer with access to all the relevant legislation, together with the statutory and policy guidance. You'll find the legislation at the back of the book, as well as a range of issues that are likely to arise in cases involving learning disabled parents. The arrival of the new edition is nothing if not timely. And the author, Abigail Bond, who's a leading expert in this field, refers to recent research which indicates that children of learning disabled parents are overrepresented in care proceedings, hence the increased awareness of this and the related problem which is in the political sphere. So there may be a little bit of a balance that may come into this. A number of government policy documents have been published on this subject, which has now evolved, in the author's words, as, quote, a sub-branch of family law, hence our title, and therefore a relatively new specialism for interested and committed family lawyers. This helpful handbook will doubtless make some practitioners' lives a little easier It is, quote, a most welcome addition to the legal literature, as Mrs. Justice Poffley remarks in the foreword. Certainly this area of law has many facets, all touched on in this comprehensive yet concise and relatively short handbook. It surveys the relevant sociological, psychological and psychiatric research whilst providing a guide to procedure and also a digest of case law, which is most welcome. And once again, referring to Anna Poffley's comments, this volume contains, quote, all the required materials needed to litigate in this complex field. As you would expect, there are new cases and new materials contained in the new edition. It's refreshing, therefore, to see such an easy-to-read text on such a difficult subject. What is more, it's easy to navigate with a detailed table of contents and numbered paragraphs throughout. Researchers will be pleased to see that all the relevant tables of cases, statutes, statutory instruments and conventions are also included. And there are 7 appendices at the back which I've indicated, which cover family procedure rules, the new ones that have come in, part 15. The good practice guidance on working with parents with a learning disability is also there. Let me conclude by saying that this is a carefully researched and eminently practical work of reference for us. Any professional working in this area of law, therefore, should acquire a copy in our view, or have an access to it on the eBook system which Jordans are offering. Obviously that's via their website, so do have a look at the Jordans website. And the publication date is cited at May 2014, and I'm recording this in the summer of 2014. That's the book again, you can see it, and there's the back. And just to remind you, for instance, there's a classic of one of the case summaries. You've got digestive case summaries. You've got a lot of important information here. That's, again, I think very helpful. You've got the Standard Mental Capacity Act 2005, and again you've got lots of other cases there. So do have a look at it. It's a good book. If you're involved in this area of law, it's a difficult area. I mean, I've done 1 or 2 cases involving this sort of problem. But something like this is a great additional help for us. I'd like to thank Abigail and all the people at Jordans for an excellent contribution. It makes our lives a lot easier. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.